What's up, ladies and gents? And if you're new to the channel, my name is Shaka Zulu. And we're back here for another video. And today, guys, we're back on another adventure with Animorphs. The invasion. If you guys haven't been watching, just pause. Just stop right now. Press that pause button. Go to the playlist in the comments. I have a playlist out on the channel. Make sure you guys listen to chapters 1 through 6. We are on chapter 7. Shout out to the people that have been watching each chapter and just been tuning into the Animorphs and just, you know, tuning into the new book vibes, man. I just want to spread the love of Animorphs. I'm just a big Animorph fan, so for the people that are new. So, recap, because every time I do this shit, we gotta do a motherfucking recap. So, recap for the people that don't want to watch or listen to the 1 through 6. So basically what happened was a bunch of kids, they ran into each other. I mean, some of them knew each other, some of them didn't, but they kind of came together. Honestly, the only person they didn't know was Tobias, because he was kind of like the outcast of the group. They walked through a construction site at night trying to get home, you feel me? Trying to just get home, you know, regular night. Next thing you know, the boy Tobias, he sees an alien in the sky, or a spaceship, UFO. Ends up being an alien called Elfanger, an Andalite, who was warning them about a Yeerk invasion. So these aliens called Yeerks are trying to invade. They kill the Andalite. Then the homies were on the run. You know what I'm saying? They had to dip out. A homeless guy died. They got away. And now, this is the next day, guys. This is the next day, chapter 7. So cheers, Animorphs. You know we gotta take at least one rip. So here we go, guys. Chapter 7. Somehow I made it home. I don't know how. I have no memories of anything. After that last sight of the Hork-Bajir. Wait, hold on. Somehow I made it home. I don't know how. I have no memories of anything after that last sight of the Hork-Bajir. I wish I had no memories of anything that happened that night. If only I could forget it all. I called around to the others. Everyone was shaky, but they were all alive. Rachel kept trying to apologize for leaving me. Markle just kept asking me if I was sure this wasn't a dream. I guess I should have had the worst nightmares of my life that night, but I didn't. The world of nightmares was a joke compared to my new reality. But by the next morning, a Saturday, I half believed it all had been a nightmare. The only thing that seemed to be real, really real, was the way the Andalite had been smiling with just his eyes. I woke when my mom started pounding on my door. Jake, are you awake in there? I was now. Yeah, I groaned. I'm up. Your friend Tobias is here. Tobias? What was Tobias doing here? It's me, Tobias' voice. Can I come in? Sure. I sat up in my bed and blinked several times, trying to get my eyes unglued. The door opened. I heard Tobias say thank you to my mom. He was glowing. I swear he was glowing, not like he was radioactive or anything. I don't mean that. It's just that his eyes were shining bright, and his face was one big grin, and he seemed to be tingling with energy, bouncing like he couldn't stand still. I did it, Tobias said. I tried to get my hair to go in one direction by raking my fingers through it. What are you talking about? I was yawning when he answered. I became dude. I stopped yawning. My mouth actually snapped shut. Dude is Tobias's cat. Huh? Tobias glanced around like there might be spies in the room. I became dude, just like the Andalite said. I just stared. It was so amazing. It didn't hurt or anything. I was petting him and thinking about the whole thing last night, so I thought, why not give him a try? He was pacing back and forth, snapping his fingers, bursting with enthusiasm. Very unlike Tobias. So if you guys don't know, the homie Tobias, he has like no family really. he gets passed from his aunt and his uncle, so he's kind of like the outcast of the group. Like he gets bullied at school and stuff like that. And Jake is the only one that like sticks up for him and had his back. So him and Jake ended up just being friends. So cheers, guys. I didn't even know how to begin, so I just made sure the door to my room was locked. Fortunately, my uncle was still asleep. Tobias has the most screwed up family I know. He never knew who his father was, and his mom just decided to leave him a few years ago. Since then, he's been shuttled back and forth between his uncle here and his aunt who lives on the other coast. His aunt and uncle can't stand each other, and it's like Tobias is some burden they each try to shove off on each other. I get the feeling neither of them cares about Tobias. So there I was, just sitting on my bed thinking about it, concentrating, thinking about becoming dude. I looked down at my hand. He grinned at me. What do you think I saw, Jake? I shook my head slowly. I don't know. I had fur, Jake, and I was growing claws. You should have seen the real dude. He went nuts. I had to put him outside before I could morph all the way. He clawed me up pretty good. Tobias stuck a sliced finger in his mouth. I swallowed hard. Okay, this was definitely crazy now. Tobias, is it possible you maybe just dreamed all this? Not a dream, he said. Now he was serious, Tobias again. The grin was gone. It's all true, Jake. All of it. His eyes met mine. I knew what he was saying. He had tried to pretend it all. I can't even speak straight, sorry guys. He tried to pretend it all was a nightmare too, but it was real. I looked away. I didn't want to start believing it had all been real. I just wanted it all safely stored away in my head. Just another bad dream. Bad dreams should stay in your head, not come jumping out in real life. I just kept concentrating on changing to Tobias. Or Tobias said, I just kept concentrating on changing, Tobias said. And in a few minutes, I was not myself anymore. His eyes bored in on me. You have no idea what it's like, Jake, being a cat. I can't even describe it. You're so strong for one thing. Just all this coiled power and the way you can move. You know what I did? I jumped onto my dresser, 3 feet straight up in the air, and I landed like a feather 3 feet. You know how high that is when you're a cat? It's like a person jumping 30 feet straight up. He stopped suddenly and looked at me. You don't believe me, do you? He said. Jamari? Sorry. I was trying to see. Someone knocked on the glass. I had to see. But we're back at it. Look, Tobias. It's just that sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between something real and something you're just imagining or dreaming. You think I'm crazy. I considered for a minute. I don't know, Tobias. Let's review the facts. You say you turned into your own pet cat, turned into an actual cat. Yes. I have to say that sounds crazy to me. Tobias nodded, thoughtfully. He gave a little smile. I understand, Jake. You still don't want it to be true. What, you mean I want to believe that you can change yourself into a cat and all the rest of it? Do I want to believe that the earth is being invaded by slimy slugs who live in people's brains and turn them into slaves? Do I want to believe that? That? Duh, no. I don't want to believe any of it. And how about the Andalite? He asked in a quiet voice. I hesitated. I don't know why, but I didn't want to pretend the Andalite away. Tobias put his hand on my arm. Stand right there. What? What are you going to do? I'm going to help you decide whether it's real or not, Tobias. Just wait and don't scream or anything. So I waited. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Tobias just stood there. I glanced at his face, his eyes. His eyes were different. The pupils weren't completely round anymore. I swear there was reflective greenness, a greenish light in them. There was a reflective greenish light in them. And his eyes, or in his mouth, was protruding a little, puffing out. He was shrinking, growing smaller right before my eyes. So he's morphing right now, that's crazy. The neck of his shirt was loose. His pants started scrunching up at the ankle. He was shriveling, and at the same time fur, yes, fur, began to grow on his hands and neck and face. It was gray striped with black, just like dudes. I had this absurd desire to start giggling. Tobias was becoming a tabby cat, but I knew if I started giggling, I'd just keep on and never ever be able to stop. Tobias was more cat than human now. The pointy ears rose atop his head. The whiskers stuck straight out from beneath the delicate pink nose. He had dropped to all fours, clothing now half draped over him like some mini rags. His tail twitched. Yes, his tail. I wondered if I would just drop dead from the lump that filled my throat, or from the jackhammer pounding of my heart. Then I wondered if I was still asleep. But if it was a dream, it was really convincing one. I was standing there in my bedroom, staring down at a gray-black cat that less than 2 minutes earlier had been my friend Tobias. And that's chapter 7. Chapter 8 coming soon. So he turns into a cat. That was the first. So Tobias is the first person to ever morph technically. And he'll be the first person to do a lot of things. You guys will know more. I don't want to spoil it. I didn't realize that I basically told you guys about Tobias before that he even said it. I thought they already talked about Tobias in the beginning. I think they did a little bit. Like they said he got picked on and stuff. But they did talk about his parents, how his parents were never there. He's, back and forth from his aunt and uncle. Like, I don't know. I related to Tobias the most when I first started reading this. But, people that are new to this book, though, you might relate to a different character. You know what I'm saying? But now, I feel like my favorite character is freaking Marco. Funny-ass Marco. He's funny as hell. And then I like X-Zimily, but we haven't met X-Zimily yet. You guys gonna have to wait until like book 3? I think book 3 we get introduced to a new character. So stay tuned, keep listening. Chapter 8's coming soon. Remember to eat, breathe, smoke weed. You guys know the vibes. And sorry if I mess up by reading. The way these books were edited back in the day, whoever wrote this did not write it real well at all. Like, some sentences, don't make sense. If you're an Animorph fan, you understand what I'm talking about. But hell yeah, guys. Remember to eat, breathe, smoke weed. Peace out. Yeah. You could zoom in, whatever. That's around. I just wanna fly away. I just wanna get away. What is being free if I can no longer be me? You don't like what you see, so you rub up on my energy. I just wanna be me, smoking on that end of weed. So I just close my eyes, because I know that one day everything's gonna be alright. If I try, I know I'll fly. Open your eyes and see past my flesh and see in my mind. I open my heart, you see all my scars. You see all the love that I push in the dark. Always feel alone, so I hop in my car. Push button start. I dream every day as I look to the stars. Spilling my heart while I'm spitting these bars. All alone and all alone. On my own, yeah.
Get it to go. Gotta find the smoothest one. Smoothest. Ooh.